Generational curses, part two. Next thing I wanted to talk about as far as generational curses is finances. Now, if you've grown up and you've watched your parents struggle, what are you doing to try to break that curse? Yeah, you know that you can only be taught from somebody's perspective, but what if what if what they knew wasn't exactly correct? Or what if you had a different way of going about things? For example, um, some of us are taught to save your money, put it in the bank, whatnot. Cool. Now that's a good thing to a certain extent, but let's say you saved up $1,000. That's not it's not a small amount of money, but if you need your $1,000, even say a year from now, you don't have the same purchasing power with that $1,000. You know, be it if your rent was needed and you had to go and take from that $1,000. A lot of us, our rent is going up. What seems like every year. So now you might have been able to cover your rent last year with your $1,000 that you had saved, but it won't be able to cover your rent for this year. Now your money's sitting in the bank, right? Okay, cool. Now your banks, a lot of people don't know. They'll take your money that's sitting there and they'll make money off of your money. They'll lend it out to people and they'll collect way more interest than they're paying you for having your money sitting there. They'll also take your money and they'll invest it in the stock market. And what they'll give you maybe 1, 2, 3%, which is really nothing. And now your $1,000, let's say they give you 1% on it. That's $10 that they're giving you for your money sitting there over the course of a year. Now they lend your $1,000 out to somebody and charge them 20%, be it a loan, whatever the case. So now your $1,000, they're making $200 off of it at 20%, and they give you $10. Where does that make sense? How is that fair? Even if you have a high yield savings account, okay, cool. What they give, maybe you get 4%. 4% on $1,000 is $40, and they make 200 off of it. Little certain nuances like this kind of gets to me, and I just want to enlighten everybody on different things that are going on in the world and try to give people an opinion on how to move different. Next topic I was thinking about as far as finances is credit cards. A lot of people feel like credit cards are the devil or whatever. Like, if you ask some of the older folks, they'll strongly advise you to not use credit cards. Now there's tons of information out on the internet on how to use credit cards, but are we sitting and doing research and thinking about things? or are we just going with the flow, listening to what we were taught? Now, yes, our parents or the older people, yes, they have a point, but then again, I don't feel like they had a whole lot of research done or a whole lot of knowledge on the subject. You know, a lot of older folks were taught to just save up your money and then use cash. But think about it, right? Your credit card builds your credit. You need credit. If you're trying to finance a car, if you're trying to get a mortgage for a house, you need credit. So now if you don't have a credit card, how do the lenders know that they could trust you to pay them back, or that you can even afford that car payment, that mortgage payment, anything like that? So I wanted to share a little gem, with the credit cards. Like say it's the middle of the week, and let's say your money ran out, and you still need to get back and forth to work. If you have the credit card, you could take it, you could swipe it at the pump. As long as you have $1 of available credit, the pump is going to cut on, and now you can fill your gas tank up. Yes, I've done this before. You know, things get real sometimes. Life's. You have $1 of available credit, take your credit card, you swipe it at the pump, and fill your tank up. Now you can get to and from work because now you have gas. And then as soon as you get paid, you pay it back. Keep the interest down on your payment that you have. Other thing with the credit cards, a lot of people don't know how to use them correctly. So your credit is all about your risk. So your high credit score means you're less of a risk. Now, you use your credit card correctly, you cut down on your interest, and you make it look like you're less of a risk. You have your payment due date and you have your statement date. Your due date is when your minimum payment is due, which is what they'll tell you that you need to pay. It might be $20, $25, depending on how big your credit limit is. Now, you can pay it and keep using your credit card because your credit card is revolving. But if you use it and then your statement date comes, now your balance looks higher than it really was on your due date. That looks bad. A lot of people don't know. You pay your due date minimum, you pay it, and then if you can, your statement date the day before or a couple of days before, you'll pay any additional amount that you can. So now when your statement date comes, now your balance is not, for example, $100. Now your balance is $50. Your credit utilization is lower now, which will give you a couple of points on your credit score just by waiting a few days to use your card. Once your statement date is here, that's when the credit card reports your balance to the credit bureaus. Lower the balance, the better your credit score will reflect. As soon as your statement date is, let's say, the 5th of the month, that means your due date will be a couple of days before that. You pay it, you let it sit there. That date that your statement date is, which in this case is the 5th, you go ahead and you use that credit card as much as you need to. And you don't have to worry about it until the next month because credit is revolving. But a lot of older folks don't know that, or they don't take the time to educate themselves on that. So I'm gonna conclude this portion of the Generational Curses series. My thoughts are just, it's not what you know. 'Cause nobody knows everything, but there's always a possibility to learn with nowadays with the internet and YouTube and social media and things like that. No, you can't trust what everybody says, but if somebody says something, why not at least take a few minutes and see if it's true, see if there's some truth to it, or see if it's completely wrong, and then come up with your own thoughts on whatever situation it is, and then move according like that. Everybody take care. I'll see you in the next video.